guys, it's Madison. Thanks for joining me in this faithful home. So I am standing in our living room of the RV, more specifically in our living room slide, and that is going to be the focus of today's video. We are going to be making over the slide into what it is now. This is the final result, so I'm giving you a slight sneak peek here, but I am super excited. We are going room by room, area by area, and I'm completely making over this RV. I'm super excited about it. I have a whole playlist down in the description box below that I'll link for you guys. You can go check out the bedroom videos that I have already made here on this channel. And today, like I mentioned, we are going to be doing this RV slide, so you get to see a little bit of a sneak peek. And let's hop back to a couple days ago when I started this project. But before we begin, if you are new to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button so you feel welcomed into this faithful home with me. And make sure you hop on over to Instagram at This Faithful Home so you can keep up to date with my daily life, depending on how often I post on there, let's be honest. But make sure you go follow me over there. Without further ado, let's transform this space to what it is now. Alright guys, so step one in this project is clearing everything out. So I'm doing this project while David is out of the house, and so I can kind of get everything moved because they're still only 370 square feet. So I gotta figure out where half of this is gonna go while I work on it. But let's clear all this out so we have a fresh space to clean. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is take some sandpaper and lightly scuff up the holes that are already there, then fill it with a spackle. Once that dries, we will go back and sand it one more time. And then once we prep all of the holes, we are going to take this TSP, it's a good multi-purpose cleaner, and we are going to mix it with water and wipe down all of the walls. We do have to be careful with this RV because, like I said, it's an RV. It's not like cleaning and prepping for painting normal walls like a brick and mortar house, so we do have to keep that into consideration, but we just want to give everything a nice good clean down, that way there is no dust for the paint to stick to. Alright, so now that we have the entire slide prepped, we're going to move on to staining. No, not staining. I stained wood yesterday. My mom did. Priming. Just going to restart that. So now that we have finished prepping the slide for this project, we need to go ahead and prime. So this is the same primer that I used in the bedroom makeover, so you guys can go watch that too. There's several videos already on the channel for that. This is the 𝐘𝐞 3 primer, interior primer, basic primer that someone suggested on the internet. So I'm using 𝐘𝐞's. I'm going to prime everything within here, and I am going to prime like this bottom half of the wall with one coat. It doesn't really need much more than that because, spoiler, the bottom is going to have wallpaper on it, so I do need to have some paint so that the wallpaper can adhere better to it, but I don't need to like go into nook and cranny details with it. So let's get priming. Alright, so we have all of the primer done on literally everything, so the next step is to paint the walls. Now, I did mention earlier that I'm not painting the lower half because I am doing a wallpaper detail. So I won't need to paint it, so it's going to look very odd until I get it hung up, but I can't get it hung up until I paint. So we're just going to deal with it, but we still, the top and like all the sides where the windows are. Oh, I don't know if that got on camera, but that was really bright, my eyes. So this is the paint we are using. It is the Sherwin-Williams Ovation Plus. This is the same paint that I used for the bedroom. It's going to be the same paint that I used for the rest of the RV, the bathroom, the rest of these walls in the kitchen, living room. So it's going to be what I'm using for this slide. And it is in the color Oxford White. And I got a semi-gloss finish. I think semi-gloss is going to help with cleaning the walls because we are in a small space. So that's why I went with that finish. And without further ado, let's paint the walls. Alright guys, so this next step is probably one of my favorite parts of this project, and that is wallpaper. So if you saw the other RV project video, it was the bedroom. I did a wallpaper headboard and then a faux wallpaper like accent wall. So of course I'm going to add wallpaper into this room as well. And the one that I picked is actually the one that my brother and sister-in-law picked for their house, which is super exciting. So this got hung up already in their house, in their laundry room, and I absolutely loved how it looked. So I said, yes, this is going to be what we need for our living room as well. And if I can open it, I will show you guys. Here it is. Okay, so it's this floral print. It's subtle, muted, perfectly fitting the vibe of this room. Yes. It's got like touches of gray, touches of cream. I don't know if it's picking up well on the camera, but I'm super excited to put this up. I know I mentioned it like at the beginning of the video, and obviously you can tell that this is not fully painted. But what I'm excited about is I'm not doing wallpaper on like the top half of the room because I feel like that's the more traditional way you would do it. Instead, I'm going to be doing it on the lower half, which is going to be like a cool feature accent, but bringing it down low, which I'm pretty excited about. The upper half is mostly all windows anyway, so one, it would be a pain in the butt to go around the windows, and two, you wouldn't get to see as much wallpaper. So I thought it'd be super cool and different to wallpaper the lower half, leaving the chair rail on here as a separator and then getting to style it accordingly. So this is our wallpaper. We also have a scraper tool, utility knife, and scissors, and with the combination of this and several of these rolls, we get to wallpaper this slide. So let's do it. If you're going to use wallpaper, I highly recommend you getting a tool like the thing you see here that is blue. It's a scraper. You can use something like a debit card if you don't want to buy it, but it's like $3 or $4, and it is definitely worth it to be able to get all of those air bubbles out of your project. Just make sure that you take your time when you are doing wallpaper, that you make sure the pattern lines up perfectly. That way it has one clean seam. Alright, so the walls are painted, the wallpaper is up, and it is time to start decorating this slide. So I've already put the chair back behind me, and then over here we have our shoe shelf and mat that we already had in here. But what is new, and I want to show you guys, is in this box. So it's sideways, but you'll get the idea. This is actually how it's going to look. It's not going to be up and down. It is an 8-cube storage system that I got from, I picked this one at Walmart. They sell it at Target too. Like, they're fairly inexpensive. They're just particle board. They're just like the super basic cube storage thing. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to give it a new life. So I bought these legs off of Amazon, and I am going to attach legs so that it sits up taller. And then kind of my plan for this is to take out one and one here so that these are like long rectangles on the top, and then we'll have 4 cubes on the bottom. And then in this box in front of me is where we have all of the cubes that are going to go on the bottom shelf. And then this entire mess that's behind me that I haven't really shown you guys needs to go back here. This gives me anxiety. That's why we need to build this so we can organize everything again. So let's do that. Alright, so to do what I'm envisioning on this board, this is going to be what like it looks like for layout. So if you can see here, board C and this board C are the ones that I'm going to cut so that I have like open cubicles on the top, like 2 and then 4 on the bottom. So what I'll need to do is, looking at this, D lines up into C. So if I take one of these boards and I take one of my C boards that oh, it's behind the camera. I actually need to figure out where it's going to sit on here. So I need to figure out where the shelf's going to go. So the dowels will go in here and then line it up with this board. Okay, so I know that when the shelf is put in like this, the board looks like this. So I need to cut along this line on this board. So I'm going to take my pen and make a little marking for myself. And now I know that I need to cut this board. I don't know if you can see my line or not. But basically I'm going to cut this board along this line, and same with the other one. That way I know it's exactly going to be flush with my middle shelf. Building this bookshelf was a lot of fun, and I love that I am making it look more fancy and luxurious by taking out those top 2 cubicles. And it really was pretty easy to put together even without those support pieces. So now I'm going in and screwing on the legs that I bought off Amazon. I think these are so fun. They raise this thing about 5 inches up off the ground. It's really easy to install, and I'll make sure that I link everything that I can down in the description box below for you guys. So because I did cut one of those pieces, I want to make sure to go back with some white paint and paint over the seam that I cut, because this is just like a particle board cubby at the end of the day with like a white veneer finish. So I am going back through and painting all of that white. That way it cleans it up and makes it look like it was supposed to be there all along. Now for these curtains, I actually picked up large panels from Walmart and cut them down, And then using these ring clips, I clipped them everywhere and then hung them up onto the curtain lines. Those curtain rods were actually one of those cheapo dollar ones from Walmart. I ended up spray painting them. I mentioned that in the bedroom video, but it was a great way to make it look more fancy without having to spend so much money on curtain rods because those can get pricey. So like I mentioned, this is just one big curtain panel that I ended up cutting in half like you see here to make some smaller pieces. And eventually I will go back and clean up the raw edge and sew the casing, but for now it does its job, and that's a lot of sewing that I just don't have time for right now. So until then, they shall be a nice, fun, raw edge. Alright guys, here is the final product of this transformation. I'm super excited. I'm going to take you on a little tour of the space and explain everything. So when you first walk in, you will see our command center. That's where all of our keys go, our hats, and then our shoe rack is down here with some of our shoes, a bench for us to sit. I bought this thing on Amazon, so I will link it down in the description box below for you guys. It was fairly inexpensive and very functional and useful for us. We also got this black mat off of Amazon. That way when people come in, we have guests over, they can stick their shoes on there because we have a no shoes in the house policy to keep everything clean and free from dirt. So that is like the first area you will see when you walk in. And then moving to the middle, this gorgeous hutch. I am so proud of how it turned out. I love the legs. It adds that like, ooh, just bit of fancy detail to it. And then here we have our cubbies. So in this first open spot, this is actually originally my mom's sewing basket that she has passed down to me. And I have a few of my sewing goods in there. And then I bought these off of Amazon. These are just like 13-inch baskets that fit in the traditional cubbies. Up here, I bought this basket from Target, I believe. I think it's the Chip and Joanna collection, Heart Home, whatever it's called. So that is up here. It's 3 cubby for David and I, each for our own stuff, like wallets, miscellaneous things, flashlights, knife, charger, patches. There's a lot of stuff in there. But that's here for us, kind of like a quick spot to throw things. And then next to it, this is super pretty, guys. This is a gorgeous vase. It is from David's grandma, great-grandma. It's part of like a milk glass collection, and so that's really pretty. I wanted to have a spot where we can put fresh flowers to give this space like a nice fresh pop of color and earthy feel. Next to it, I have the diffuser. Currently, I am diffusing sandalwood. And then here I have for David's new record player. I actually got this like picture frame holder, and it's just like a little stand. That way, whatever record is being played, I can have it displayed right there. My favorite that I like to play here is Han. And so right now we have Han on the record player. This record player I bought off Amazon recently. If you have been around this channel for a while, you would know that we have a larger record player, which is actually down on the floor right now. We maybe will sell it, maybe we'll keep it, not sure. Thought it was broken, we fixed it, but it is too big for this space. So I found this compact one, and this is like a pretty clear glass that'll open, but it can also close while the record is playing, which is pretty cool. And then we'll move back down to this side of the shelf. We have our book bar that may or may not have things that I can't talk about on this channel. So yeah, there's storage things in here. And then next to it, I grabbed some of our books. So I got a variety of people here, but I kind of just wanted our book bar to blend in with the bookshelf, and so I thought this was really pretty to take some of those books and display them here. Then we have the others. This bin has all the rest of our records that are going to be in storage when we're not playing them. And then moving on past this to this corner, I actually picked up this pillow today at Walmart and thought it was really pretty. Just, I don't know, I wanted a new pillow, so I bought it. It was like 15 bucks, not bad. And then this chair we have had forever. We had it in our house. We moved it to the apartment. We brought it here. And so we have that there for seating for guests when they come over, just a nice accent area. And then these curtains, you saw me in the last clip put them up. They are one long panel curtains from Walmart that I cut down. Added these circle like clip things that I used in the other bedroom as well. I'll link them for you guys. Got like 100 pack, needed another 100 pack, ran out of that, need more. It's fine, I can buy them again on Amazon. So that is this entire space and I absolutely love it, guys. I think it turned out so great. I just love how open and airy it feels in here. Like, I don't want to give you too much of the rest of it because oof, there's a lot going on over there. This is the reality check for you guys. If you think that everything on the internet is picture perfect like you see here, sometimes this is behind the scenes, so we'll keep that in the video. But just look at the difference in how dark and dreary it feels over here, especially with the blackout curtains down versus here. And I absolutely love this. I think this just brings so much character to our RV. It takes it from just boring stock RVs, which I don't know why, guys. It is 2021. You would think RV companies would start making their RVs a little bit more trendy. I digress. That's why you have me. I can go ahead and do the work myself and make it fit exactly how I want it. And I love it. I love it so much. I think this is so great. It brings such a personality to this place. It makes it feel so much bigger than it really is. And it just makes it feel like home. So thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of this video to see the final tour, the final result of this slide. I think it is awesome. I already have so many ideas for this area over here. The kitchen's gonna get done. None of the cabinets are going to be painted. Like, we love the color of the cabinets, so that's not going to change. But there's a lot of things that we can do to update it. We have more walls to paint, and then the bathroom needs to get done. Outside, we're going to do like a little patio area. We've got a lot still coming for this playlist. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it because that helps out my channel. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you are not already subscribed, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button so you feel welcomed into this faithful home with me. Wow, this is home, guys. And it feels like home now. And I'm just so excited. I love how it turned out. So thank you guys so much. I'll check back with you guys next week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern for another video. Bye, guys.